Hey guys, welcome to Pajama Let's Play. I'm Michelle, host of Pajama Let's Play, where we talk all things Kingdom Hearts. Today's video is going to be part 1 out of 2 on my thoughts on the trailers released for the 20th anniversary event. But before we get into that, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can check out my Patreon or leave a tip via the various apps in the description box down below. As always, there will be spoilers, so heads up there. I decided to break up my thoughts on the trailer because I already recorded a video that covers a subscriber-submitted theory about Strelitzia and Lauriam. So next Friday's video will cover Strelitzia in Kingdom Hearts 4, but today's video will cover my thoughts on everything else. I was part of a stream with several other small content creators, so make sure to check out all of their thoughts, and some of them did influence my thoughts, so there's likely going to be some overlap. For those that haven't seen the trailers yet, I'll link it right here. I will not be showing clips of it, so make sure to watch that first and then come back to this. With that said, let's just go over it in the order we saw. First, Dark Road coming in August. It's almost a year late and I'm losing my mind. And that's assuming they stick to that deadline. With all of the delays for this, plus how long we waited for Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't have a lot of hope that we will actually get the rest of Dark Road in August. The problem is I have so many competing theories on the Dark Road stuff, and I've been waiting for the release to talk about most of it. Okay, rant over. So the trailer shows a lot of snippets of scenes that don't give us much to go on, but the fight between Eraqus and Xehanort has a lot of implications. Notice Xehanort already has No Name and Eraqus already has Master Defender. That means both of them are official Keyblade Masters at this point, with each being bequeathed an important Keyblade. We know Lucio was tasked with bequeathing No Name to his apprentice, to bequeath to their apprentice, and so on and so forth, until the foretold Keyblade War in Kingdom Hearts 3. That tells me Lucio is somewhere lurking in Scala at Kylum, staying close to No Name. Remember this, because I'll be referencing it later. The two boys seem to be arguing over the nature of darkness and balancing it with light, and we already know where they each stand on that. Next thing to mention is Baldur joining the fight with Cerberus. He was asked to stay behind while the classmates go searching for the upperclassmen. So this tells me they will return to Scala, and somehow Baldur will be recruited to their team. I do not expect him to survive the full story, because Baldur's death in Norse mythology is the first sign of Ragnarok, which I've discussed in other videos. Also notice they are all using the Starlight Keyblade, so no one has been bequeathed the important Keyblades yet. So this scene will likely happen in the first half of the update. The bequeathments are a big deal, and we will need a lot of setup before we get to see it. The next shot is the upperclassmen. I'll take some guesses, but we aren't told the names of any of them. Just for fun, here are those guesses. For the females, I believe we have Frigg and Freya, as the ones with white hair and red hair respectively. Though I could see one of them being Nana, because in the mythology, she is the wife of Baldur. For the males, the blonde is likely Thor, and the others are just straight up guesses. But I imagine we'd have Hoth as the boy in the blue robes. Maybe Loki as the assassin looking one, and the other two could be Vidar, the one who avenges Odin's death in Ragnarok, and maybe Forseti or Tyr, the gods of justice. Though maybe not Tyr because he's missing a hand, unless he loses one somewhere in the story of Dark Road. I'm not sure, it's just some guesses to throw out there. Later on, we get to see Master Odin looking upon two wielders in armored suits, saying only they remain. I think those are Xehanort and Eraqus, thus making them the inheritors of the Keyblades. Perhaps Master Odin was using this as a way to determine who would get the Master Defender, and while Eraqus was favored to receive it, this just ensured it because there will not be anyone else to choose for it. This would also explain the gravestones and Xehanort's guild. If their actions led to them being the only ones left, then the gravestones would be all of the lower classmen, including Baldur. While we only saw 4 gravestones being visited, Xehanort was also interrupted, so there may be more that were left out of what we were given to minimize how much information we have. Then we have the scene I knew was coming, the Master of Masters officially meeting young Xehanort. We knew this would happen because of their interaction in Kingdom Hearts 3. We know the Master of Masters will give Xehanort a darkness cloak, and I'll go into that more in a bit. For now, hold on to that observation. Next, we got Missing Link. My understanding is it will be a mobile game, so it's unlikely the gameplay will be a lot like what we see in the trailer, and that it's more of a proof of concept than actual footage. I don't see how you can do flow motion like that on a smartphone, but that's just my 2 cents. First, we see a black cloak with No Name. Clearly that's Lucio, since the Master of Masters was separated from the Keyblade before Union Cross even really began. We are then shown someone with a very pirate feel to them, dressed in white. I don't know who that is, but it really does remind me of a counterpart to Jack Sparrow. With Johnny Depp being on the outs with Disney, it wouldn't surprise me if we never see Jack Sparrow again. So this character could be a good replacement. If you aren't aware of what's going on with Johnny, please check out Popcorned Planet to find out. I'm Team Johnny, but that's all I can say without making YouTube angry. It's a sensitive topic. Anyway, back to Missing Link. So there are some things said here that I find intriguing. This is a city of light and darkness, dreams and distortions, the remembered and the forgotten. This reminds me of a theory by Axel Vega that Scala was split by Xehanort, just as young Xehanort split Toy Box, leaving a darker version that would fit the Victorian style we saw in Union Cross, and a lighter version that we see in Kingdom Hearts 3. We also know that this is an accurate description of Scala because it eventually becomes the land of departure, and Ericus describes it in a similar way in Birth by Sleep. Axel Vega also has a theory that he talks about in his live streams, that the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 are microcosms of Quadratum/Unreality. And the look of Scala in Missing Link does look a lot like the map from the boss battle in Toy Box, where we fight the alien ship with all those blocks on the map thing. I also find it interesting that this new character's Keyblade looks a lot like Master Defender, but not exactly the same. There's gotta be something significant about that. Then we got to see Brain, and let me tell you, I legit screamed. It looks like we will be picking up right where Union Cross left off, and we'll get to see what Brain does with the second life he's been given. And finally, the game I didn't expect to get an announcement for, Kingdom Hearts 4. Chad pointed out to me that this was the first time the concept of soul is mentioned. The community has long speculated and debated how hearts work in the series, and now we know the heart and soul are, in fact, separate from one another, though the heart resides within the soul, thus allowing the body to perish while the soul and heart live on. It also reinforces the concept of fate here, which has been a theme, especially throughout Union Cross. The struggle between Ava and the Master of Masters over fate versus free will likely play out here. Not to say Ava is going to be seen in Kingdom Hearts 4, because I think that reveal is a long way away, but the theme will likely be expanded upon. This is also where we get the shot of a world that resembles Endor from Star Wars. And there seems to be a mechanical foot in the background. This was definitely a topic brought up in the live stream, but I'm not a big fan of Star Wars. I consulted Chad, the husband, and he is absolutely certain that is an AT-ST foot. According to him, AT-ATs could not work in Endor because it's too flush with trees, but he says that an AT-ST could maneuver there. This tells me that, yes, we are finally getting a Star Wars world. Yes, Xemnas does use lightsabers. Now that the recent trilogy is finished, the Kingdom Hearts crew can actually include Star Wars, because as I've said repeatedly, everything in the Disney multiverse is established as canon, so Kingdom Hearts cannot stray from plotlines still being explored. Now that it's wrapped up, I expect we'll get Endor from Episode 6 as the very first Star Wars world, and we'll make our way through Rey's saga and that trilogy. This wouldn't interfere with shows like The Mandalorian, because they occur at separate times, and our characters can now interact with the Star Wars characters without messing up plot points. I still don't think any organization members, the Master of Masters, or any of his apprentices are from any Disney property. But we can definitely get Star Wars worlds now, because again, it's wrapped up and it'll become canon. Then we get Sora looking very realistic. Again, we're not going to talk about Strelitzia today, that's next week. But this confirms a theory for me that I've had since Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. Unreality is a realm of video games. Yes, Sora looks realistic, but he also looks like he's from Final Fantasy. I'm not sure which one, but the feel is very Final Fantasy-like. If that's the case, then Quadratum is a world from Final Fantasy, probably altered by Xehanort or someone else, and exists within Unreality alongside many other video games, such as Wreck-It Ralph. I will talk more next week about how Sora might have ended up there when we tie in Strelitzia. Either way, I see two different possibilities here. Either Sora is in a data realm, or he's in our reality. A lot of the community is theorizing that this, plus the appearances in the Mickey Disney Plus series, plus all the new merch, plus the Tamagotchis, and more, mean that Sora is in our reality, but I'm not sure how that would work. Just from a logistical standpoint, How would Sora be in our actual reality when he's still a video game character? I'm not ruling it out, but I'm not sure how they would break the fourth wall like that in a way that makes sense. So, then we find out he was asleep for 7 days upon arriving in Quadratum, and I agree with the community that the following 13 days will be very impactful for Sora. Because, well, we all know those two numbers go hand in hand in the series and have a lot of significance. Strelitzia mentions this is a sort of afterlife for them, but that's going to be part of next week's video. We see Sora use an awesome looking shot lock, and I like that it sprouts from a crown symbol. But then we see the two cloaked figures. Clearly one of them is the Master of Masters, and most people think the other is Luxu. Again, Luxu has to stay close to No Name, which is in the Kingdom Hearts reality, not unreality. So that second figure must be young Xehanort after he's gotten the new cloak and is being shown the ways of the realms by the Master of Masters, making sure he will play his role and begin the Keyblade War at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. Finally, we have Donald and Goofy interacting with, seemingly, Hades. I agree with the community that this is likely from a Disney Plus TV series, not so much Kingdom Hearts 4. I also struggle to believe that Donald and Goofy would go looking for Sora without a Keyblade wielder. Despite their ability to fight the Heartless throughout the series, it's a common thread that they shouldn't be able to do that without a Keyblade. Maybe their abilities work off the Keyblade being wielded by whichever Guardian of Light they're with, but I imagine they're accompanying Mickey, maybe Terra, maybe Kairi, but a Keyblade wielder who is searching for Sora. We know that's Hades because of the blue hair and the flames, and if they believe Sora perished, where's a good place to start the search? The underworld. And it ends with the phrase, magic in the making, to show all of those projects are currently in development. I love the set of trailers we got. It definitely got me hyped up for each of these installments, and I can't wait to experience them. I'm not going to talk about the logistics like what engine they're using, what the release order or dates would be, or anything of that nature because I have no idea about any of that. I understand the engine used would determine the platform, but that's about all I know. So I'm not going to speculate about things I truly don't understand. But those are my thoughts on these trailers and what my initial theories are. Make sure to tune in next week to discuss Strelitzia's involvement and what her presence implies for the series going forward. So, what do you think? What are you looking forward to? Where do you agree or disagree with my theories? What other theories have you heard that you like a lot? Tell me all about your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have a theory you'd like me to cover, here is my email address, and you're welcome to send all of them over. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can check out my Patreon or leave a tip via the various apps linked in the description box down below. Until next time.